Hey, welcome into another JDizzle Spine Tizzles. I'm JDizzle. No, not really. I'm Jamie. Hope you're having a very spooky and cool lead up to Halloween this year. Today we're going to be talking about a very exciting show and something that I think is very rewatchable, and it's from creator Mike Flanagan, who you may know from The Haunting of Hill House and his adaptations of Stephen King novels such as Dr. Sleep and Gerald's Game. From the creators of those shows and films comes a slow-burning, haunting tale of religious segregation and gothic horror in Midnight Mass. The story takes place on the fictional isolated location of Crockett Island. After the mysterious disappearance of their local parishioner, his replacement, Father Paul Hill, comes to the island and makes an impactful, mostly positive impression upon the islanders. However, very soon increasingly disturbing and bizarre events occur due to the arrival of the pastor. I first became aware of Mike Flanagan's work through watching Gerald's Game on Netflix, and I just thought that was an absolute masterpiece. I'm a big fan of the book. I think it's a genuinely haunting and just creepy work of fiction, and I thought Mike Flanagan had adapted this for the screen just perfectly and visualised it the way that I had visualised it as well while reading. I just thought it was a really true to the source material, and he did the same with Dr. Sleep, the sequel to The Shining. I was introduced to his TV work on Netflix also through my partner, who had seen Haunting of Hill House and Haunting on Bly Manor and Midnight Mass as well. I hadn't seen any of it, so we sat through and binged through all of Haunting of Hill House, which is just as great as it's hyped up to be. It's a real, really fantastic show. Mike Flanagan's penchant for creating nightmare-inducing visuals of creatures lurking in the darkness is one of the most exciting things to happen in horror filmmaking in recent years, I think. The Midnight Man in Gerald's Game, Lorraine Massey in Dr. Sleep, to those characters in Midnight Mass, they're perfect visualizations of things that go bump in the night. The less you know about said characters before going in, the better. I was left with goosebumps after the exciting revelations of where the horror was taking us within the second to third episode, I believe. Before we started watching, my partner just said to me, "Let me know what you think of the guy playing Father Paul Hill. It's some of the best acting she's ever seen." Hamish Linklater is absolutely incredible here. It's easily one of the best performances I've ever seen in anything, and his monologues are so engaging in this. I mean, the acting in general is just fantastic, and everyone is very much an ensemble cast with everyone driving the story forward, even through the more dialogue-heavy scenes where there's not necessarily any horror happening. It still keeps you engaged, and the characters are so well written. It is one of those shows that benefits from you knowing as little as possible going in. If you haven't seen it already, it's available to stream via Netflix. Perfect for the Halloween season and the autumnal period. As far as I'm aware, there's no physical release of the series yet. It would be great to have a Blu-ray or DVD release of this soon, though, because I think it very much deserves having a life outside of Netflix as well. It's great that Netflix are bringing this incredible content to us, but I think having the physical media equivalent as well that we can go out and purchase would also be just a great bonus, with some extra special features and stuff that we could really sink our teeth into. While on the subject of Mike Flanagan, his latest series, which is an adaptation of Edgar Allan Poe's works, The Fall of the House of Usher, which is also streaming on Netflix. We're halfway through watching this series at the moment. By the end of each episode, there's this huge revelation that tends to be quite gruesome, that just makes the whole episode tick, and I think this is going to be another one that's really rewatchable. My favourite part of it so far, without giving anything away, has been the end credits of episode 3. Just the noises that are in the background while the credits are playing, when you know what's just happened in the final scene of that episode, is really eerie and creepy, and those noises did kind of stay with me for days after watching. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Let me know what you think of Midnight Mass if you've seen it. What do you think of Mike Flanagan's work in general? He's a really interesting and awesome voice in cinematic horror right now, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does next. I believe he is also scheduled to adapt a version of Life of Chuck, which is a short story by Stephen King. And if that's done just as well as his other works are, then that's going to be something to behold as well.